you really only had one rule on Seinfeld, which I thought was hilarious. It's no hugging, no learning. And I'm wondering,
Right, right.
was that in response to other shows at the time that you felt were wading too deep into trying to teach a lesson or to be too sentimental? Where did that come from?
Well, there were two things going on there as well. I mean, one was we loved Abbott and Costello or the Three Stooges, and think about it, we were watching those shows in reruns 20, 30 years, 40 years after they had been on TV already. So they also had a certain resonance with kids growing up in New York at that time. There was also a certain bleakness to the Three Stooges, and especially Abbott and Costello. I often compare it to Beckett because it's like two guys living in a room, going nowhere, like spinning their wheels. It's a very sort of bleak thing, and they do it week after week after week, episode after episode. And no, they never say, "Oh, you know what? We should get a job and stop this, stop struggling." No, they keep trying to get by in their foolish ways, and that's what you love about it. It's honest. It's really more, even though it's crazy and surreal, it's more honest and more like life than many of the sitcoms that you see now and certainly then, where you were given this false morality, where everything works out in the end, which isn't how life is. And I think people, one of the reasons that Seinfeld still exists as an entity is because we did not give easy answers. We said, like Abbott and Costello, they're going to be back next week doing the same thing. They don't learn their lessons, just like we as people rarely learn our lessons, and that is a great lesson, I think, for people to remember. It's like you don't want to be lectured to, you don't want to be talked down to. We really treated the audience like equals, like partners in crime.
Do you think the unique perspective of Seinfeld was that a result of not being shaped by traditional structures of somebody like James L. Brooks, where it almost always ends on a very high note?
Yeah, I think there is something to that. I mean, again, it's a combination of like our instinct, what made us laugh, what we found funny, and trusting in that really, and rejection of those kind of comedy norms that a lot of shows had, and that were really well written, well done shows. I mean, the James L. Brooks shows, the Norman Lear shows, they were great shows, but they were more in that formula, and they kind of relied on that formula of no matter how bad Archie was, at the end of the show, there would be some kind of redemption. When in truth, when you knew guys like Archie, they didn't have redemption at the end of each episode.
Yeah.
Their life was not about redemption. It was about believing what they believed in and being stubborn about it, And so that was something that we looked at, just like you look at the sketch formula and you go, that's a formula that I reject. Let's see what happens if we don't do that. And inadvertently, we wound up really connecting with the audience on a very primal level because of that.